This week I knocked something else off my bucket list, and that's learning how to do the sublimation process. Now, I had all these heat presses. Actually, that one there I bought years ago, about 6 years ago for HTV vinyl, and I also got this HTV Vont hand press a couple years ago, and they come with all the accessories and stuff that you need. And I've always wanted to try sublimation, but I just didn't have the equipment to do it. Well, the other day in Walmart, I found they had this Epson ET2803 EchoTank printer on sale. It was marked down to like $199, cheapest I'd ever seen it. So I bought that, and I went on Amazon and bought some Hippo ink and some A-Sub sublimation paper to get started. And I watched a couple YouTube videos. And I grabbed a couple mouse pads that are made for sublimation to try. You can see they're nice weight pads. And I also picked up some high temperature tape, which you really definitely need for this. Now I watched a couple videos on this to get started. And there's a lot of them out there. There's tons of them, but it doesn't take a lot. Turns out you just need one of these EchoTank printers. And they come, this one's really lightweight one. It's low-end one, but it works. And I'll show you in a second. It worked beautifully. So it comes all taped up and everything. And there's where the ink goes in. You fill it with these tanks. And there's the Epson ink I can't use. I thought I could use it in my printer upstairs, but it turns out it's a different number. The different types of ink. And this is the Hippo ink that I bought. Now, once you put this ink in this unit, your warranty is void. So you've got a boat anchor if it doesn't work after you do this. So, that's one of the chances you take when you do something like this, because this printer is not made to be a sublimation printer, but hundreds of people use them from what I saw online, so I figured I'll try it. Worst you could do is lose $200 and cry a little bit. But anyhow, ink goes in easy. You just put the containers in, turn them upside down, and let them glug in. Don't squeeze them or shake them or anything. And there's a little bit left after it's full. You can see right there, you can see the levels of all the different inks. Make sure you put the right one in the right container. Throw a little paper in it, and then I just turned it on. And there's a setup that you go through. It has it has to bleed all the lines out and stuff. And, it runs for a while. It took like 15 minutes to get through the setup. You can see how much ink it used just doing the setup process. So I refilled the tanks, and then I got my first printout. Had a problem with that, and I got another printout, and I did another cleaning, and it worked. And then I ran a copy of the manual. You can see on the left the copy's a little different color. So that's where those ICC files come in. Now I took an old picture that I had taken years ago, and I printed that out on it. Came out perfect, and this is a polyester t-shirt. Using this method, you can't do cotton. It's got to be mostly polyester. And I'll be looking into doing cotton with a different method later. But I've got this this little press here that I'm using, and I'm just going to heat up the polyester shirt there to remove the moisture from it. And I'm using 400 degrees, which is way higher than I ever used for the HTV, but that press works good. And then I put some parchment paper down inside there, because sometimes it'll bleed through. And there's a picture that I printed out. And one thing that you have to remember to do that I'll show you I don't always remember to do is reverse the image before you print it. And I really have gone through a lot trying to get the color match. I tried those ICC files, but I'm still having some trouble with them. They don't really go good with my Paint Shop Pro or whatever it is. And so, my colors aren't perfect yet, but I'll work that out eventually. And I put down a piece of paper and then a piece of parchment paper. And I'm going to put the press on there 400 degrees and set the timer for 60 seconds. And this is my first attempt, so we'll see in a second exactly what happens. And I'm real excited at this point in time because it just seems so easy to get to this point. If the results are good, I'll be happy. So 60 seconds, long time when you're sitting there waiting. Luckily, I sped up the rest of them. But try to keep the thing still and just put a little bit of medium pressure on it. And we're all done. And at this point, I realized I have to get a heat-resistant glove because this stuff is all really hot when it comes off of there. Let's try to take a peek at this. Nope, too hot. Gotta let it sit for a while. And here's my first peeling, and oh my god, the colors aren't exactly 100% perfect, but they're really close. Look how vibrant they came out and how clear. And I mean, this is in t-shirt material. Boy, I've come out of the black and white dark ages now, it looks like. I'm real happy with the results on that. It didn't really take that much to get there. So I pulled out my pad and stuff just to look at it. And came out wonderful. I did run it through a wash cycle to check it, and it's permanently in the material, it looks like. Now I took one of my sunflower pictures from the garden, and I decided I'm going to try to work with that. And here's where I messed with the color. I couldn't get that ICC right, so I had to switch over to the Adobe and make some adjustments. And I'm getting closer now. Eventually I should get it. But first when I put it out, I realized, oh my god, I did it backwards. I didn't flip it again. So I ran another print, and this time I got it right. And you can see just how beautiful the prints come out, but they just don't have the color when you print them. They look different, and the press brings out the vibrant colors. So this time I'm using the big press, and this thing takes about a half hour to heat up, so it takes a while to use. And you can see it's real slow heating up. And I've got the mouse pad there. I rolled it with the lint roller, and now I'm almost up to temp. So I'm just going to heat this up for a couple seconds to remove any moisture that could be trapped in the surface of it. There's a special coating on these mouse pads for sublimation. And really, they're not that expensive. So here's my printout. And I'm just going to flip this over and kind of get it as close to center as I can. And then I'm just going to take a couple pieces of tape once I get it where I want it. And just hold it in place. Definitely you need this high temperature tape. Regular tape would stick to it. And I went for the clear version because that seemed to be the one that left the least marks on things when they used it from the reviews I saw. So tape that on and flip it over, and I'm putting down a piece of parchment paper and laying that down on there because you don't want that any extra to get stuck in your Teflon pad. And then I'm going to put down a piece of printer paper there just to blot up any extra. Another piece of parchment paper. I don't know why, but that's what people did, so I did that. And then my Teflon protector sheet for the top. So it's like making a sandwich, and then presses up to 400 degrees. So I'm going to start the timer, and I'm going to start with 60 seconds because that's what they recommended on the box the paper came in. So this is another first for me. I have no idea how it's going to come out, but it was really easy. Just let it time out, and then same thing. I'd recommend highly getting some kind of a heat-resistant glove if you're going to mess with this stuff because it is hot. Let's get that parchment paper off of there, and then you can see that printer paper I put on. It did pick up some color that bled through the back of the sublimation paper. And let's just look. Oh, it looks like it came out good. I got to let it cool down though so I don't get burned. Here we are a couple minutes later. Peel it off, and oh my god, that is a mouse pad with one of my photos on it. I just can't believe that. Look how beautiful that came out. Started out of the white pad a couple seconds ago and just came out gorgeous. Oh my god, I love this thing. So you can see it's right in there. It's beautiful, and it's you don't even feel it on or anything. It bonds right into the material. So then my grandson went on a trip to Washington, D.C. with his class, and he bought a hat for a souvenir, and I'm real proud of him. And decided to try to do one of them, but I forgot to flip it, so everything's backwards on it. So I'll fix that in the end, but you can see the beautiful job it does on the mouse pads. Now I wanted to try MDF, and I saw online a video where you take one of these laminating pouches. You cut it in half and you put a piece of laminating pouch on one side of your board for any kind of wood or MDF. And make sure you put it with the glue side down, the shiny side up. And then you press that. Well, first I'm going to press the board to get the moisture out of it before I press it with the laminate on it. So as the press is heating up, I'm going to press the piece of MDF. It's like 1/8 thick material I had laying around. And I'm just going to press that to get moisture out of it. And if you look at it, it kind of potato chipped up. And so I figured, okay, I'll press the other side to see if I can flatten it, but potato chipped the other way then. And it turned out that it took about 24 hours for it to neutralize back to flat after I put the sublimation on it. So it will eventually go back to flat, I found out. But I'm just going to, heat this side up too, just to, pull some more moisture out of it. And that's what causes the curling. It shrinks as you pull moisture out. That's the way wood is. So let's pull that out. And there you can see it went up the other way. But I'm not going to worry about it at this point. So that's nice and dry. And now I've got my sheet. Make sure you put it the glue side down and the shiny side up. And just set it on there, and then put on a piece of paper and the top Teflon pad, and I'm going to press that. I'm still a little bit below 400, but I pressed it for a minute at 365 or whatever it was. And let's look at that, and you can see that really did attach good to the piece of MDF. I can't believe it. It's really bonded right on there nice. So that's my starting surface now, and next I'm going to take that first print that I printed backwards and try to put it on here and see how it comes out. And I know it won't be perfect because the color is not white on the background there. The MDF is kind of brown, but I'm just going to center it on there and put a couple pieces of tape on it just because the corners are curling up, and you really want to keep things from shifting when you first hit it so the heat doesn't smear it or anything. So definitely you need parchment paper, you need tape, you need some extra paper just to protect things. But basically it's pretty easy. So then I put another piece of paper on there, parchment paper. And this also can be done on, you can get tin signs and stuff like that too that you could do this on. So it's really going to be fun in the future. But right now I'm just showing you, I'm just getting started, and I want to pick up a lot of blanks and stuff maybe next month after tax season is over, and do some more videos. But so basically I'm going to do the 400 for 60 seconds that I've done on everything else, which seems to be a good number. And swing that around, and notice I've got it hanging off the bench now because preheating at 400 was melting the finish on my tabletop of my bench, so I've got it clamped in place there. And let's pull this apart. Let's get the paper sheet off there. And again, I really should have a heat-proof glove because this thing is really, really hot. But I'm in a hurry and excited to see what happened here. And I just can't believe it. Look at those colors. I mean, they're a little darker because of the dark background on it. And it's got a antique aged look because some speckles from the actual MDF did work their way through into the picture. I'll show you in a second. It just came out gorgeous. A little bit of dust I got behind it, but I'll have to do a better cleaning next time. And I've actually ordered a roll of this laminate now to try with more things. But I'm hoping to be able to make jigsaw puzzles with this and color and cut them out with the laser. So we'll see. But there it is. It really came out beautiful. Just unbelievable, the colors, and how it just melted into the MDF in the back, and it just came out gorgeous. And it did flatten out, like I said, in 24 hours. Now I'm going to show you my failure. I've seen people do a lot of mugs with the sublimation, and I went to my dollar store, picked up a ceramic mug that was white on the outside, and I said, okay, I'm going to do that, and I figured it was okay. Cleaned it with alcohol to get grease and dirt off it and stuff. Got the mug press here all hooked up and heated up and ready to go, and print a picture of my truck on there, and okay, I'm going to make a mug, I decided. And it's set to run it for 3 minutes, but I saw the temperature drop once I clamped it really quickly, so I ran it for 5 minutes the first time. And took a look at it, nothing at all, so I put it back in for another 5 minutes. And took it out again, and I snuck a peek at it, and here you can see I got to get a glove. I had to use a rag, but looking at it, nothing stuck to the mug. A little bit, but it was just starting. So I figured, let me just throw it in there for another 5 minutes. So here we are after 15 minutes in the heat press, nothing. I looked up online and it said you need special mugs with a polyester coating on them. So that was my mistake, and I'll get some of the right mugs later. So here I redid that mouse pad that was backwards, and it came out gorgeous. Oh my God, I just love it. My favorite mouse pad ever. And you can see just the collars and the bright vibrant. Oh, this thing is so much fun. So here we are. This is what I've done so far, and I'm going to stop this video here and just give some people some ideas of what this can do. And if you're interested in it, I'd say start watching some videos, because there's a lot of good videos out there about getting going. And look at that mouse pad, just amazing. A picture from my garden, and there it is. It looks like an antique on that piece of MDF. Just came out so gorgeous. And you don't really have any smell or any waste or anything else. A little bit left on the paper when you're done. So it looks like this Epson printer has brought me out of the black and white Stone Age into world of color now. And you can see there's on a picture that I took, printed on a t-shirt. That's a mouse pad there, came out gorgeous. And there's the tin, or the MDF picture that came out really nice. I'm going to frame that one. And there's really not much scrap left when you're done. And here's here's what everything looks like there. So I'll be doing some more updates in the future. And I took an old picture and put on a shirt of my wife and I on a cruise years ago, and that didn't come out quite so good. That was when I was playing with the colors and stuff. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Please subscribe.